All right, so today we're going to be diving into some YouTube growth strategies.
Okay.
This is something that I think a lot of our listeners are interested in.
Right.
So I thought we would take a look at this video I found called YouTube Gurus Lying to Small Creators.
Lying.
Yeah, how to actually blow up. And it's by this channel called Live Video School.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So the creator here claims to have grown their channel like really rapidly.
Hmm.
And they're basically pushing back against a lot of the like conventional YouTube advice.
Okay. I'm intrigued already.
Yeah. So, let's see what they have to say.
Yeah, let's jump in.
So one of the first things that they kind of go after is this idea of focusing on YouTube shorts,
Oh, really?
which I thought was interesting because, you hear a lot of people saying like shorts are the way to grow.
Yeah, that's like the hot tip right now.
Right, exactly. And this creator's like, no, actually focusing on shorts can actually hurt your channel in the long run.
So what's their reasoning behind that?
Well, they say that, shorts, they're good for like getting attention really quickly.
Right, grabbing eyeballs?
Yeah, but they don't really encourage people to like stick around and watch your longer form content.
Mm-hmm. I see.
And, watch time is so important for the algorithm.
Oh, absolutely.
So even if you're getting millions of views on shorts, it doesn't necessarily translate to success with your main videos.
So you could have like a ton of subscribers from shorts.
Right.
But they're not actually engaged with your like core content.
Exactly. And the video actually gives this example of a creator with like 8,000 subscribers,
Okay.
but they're only getting like a handful of views on their longer videos.
Wow. So it's like almost two separate audiences then.
Yeah, and I thought that was like a really good point. Like, are those 8,000 subscribers actually fans, or are they just people who stumbled across a funny short?
Right. Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, and that's why this creator is saying, you really need to be strategic about what kind of content you're making. If you want to build an audience that's actually invested in your channel, shorts might not be the best way to do that.
So it's all about figuring out what type of content is going to attract the right viewers for your goals.
Right, not just following the latest trends.
Exactly.
But, speaking of trends, I see a lot of creators doing this thing where they're like posting the same content on every platform.
Yeah, post everywhere strategy.
Yeah, exactly. Like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts.
Right, trying to hit everything at once.
And I was curious what this creator thought about that, and they actually advise against it.
Really?
Yeah, they say that like spreading yourself so thin can actually lead to burnout.
Oh, for sure. And probably like a dip in the quality of your content too.
Exactly, because if you're trying to like tailor everything for all these different platforms, something's got to give.
Yeah, you can't be everything to everyone.
And, if your main focus is YouTube, it makes sense to like put all your energy into making the best possible videos for that platform.
Right. It's about choosing quality over quantity.
Exactly, and I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, I agree.
And this actually ties in nicely with the next thing that they talk about, which is authenticity.
Okay. Authenticity. That's a big one these days.
Yeah, but what does it actually mean for YouTube?
Right. Good question.
Well, this creator thinks that a lot of creators are getting caught up in like over-editing their videos, like, trying to force retention with all these flashy graphics and jump cuts.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like I'm watching a movie trailer instead of an actual video.
Oh, right. And they're saying that can actually be a turnoff for viewers.
Interesting.
Yeah. So instead of focusing on all that editing, they're saying you should just like be yourself.
Be authentic.
Yeah, and like bring energy to your delivery. Have a strong hook.
So it's more about captivating people with your personality.
Exactly.
Rather than trying to like trick them into staying with fancy editing.
Right. And they also talk about the importance of strong titles.
Oh, yeah. Titles are huge.
Because that's the first thing people see.
It's what makes them click.
Exactly. And it also matters for the algorithm.
Oh, right. Of course.
So a good title can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Oh, and it's funny you should mention titles because this creator actually has like a free resource with examples of good titles.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool of him.
Yeah, I thought that was really helpful. But going back to authenticity for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like a risk of going too far with that?
Oh, that's a good point. Like being too raw.
Yeah, like is there a danger in being too unfiltered?
I mean, I think authenticity is about finding that balance, right? It's not about being like perfectly polished.
Right.
But it's also not about being like unprofessional.
Right. So it's about being yourself, but like the best version of yourself.
Exactly. And I think if you look at some of the most popular YouTubers,
Yeah.
they're successful because they have like a distinct personality. that comes through in their videos.
Right.
Like, they're not afraid to be themselves, but
Right.
they're also mindful of their audience.
Right. It's like finding that sweet spot where your personality overlaps with what people want to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of what people want to watch, this creator has this really interesting formula
Okay.
that they call T plus T plus H.
T plus P plus H?
Yeah. And they say it's like the key to blowing up on YouTube.
All right, I'm listening.
So it stands for title, thumbnail, and hook.
Okay, pretty straightforward.
Right. But they're saying that like most people don't realize how important it is for those three things to work together.
I see.
So we've already talked about titles, but let's talk about thumbnails for a minute.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed how like some thumbnails just really grab your attention?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Then others are just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, they just blend in.
Exactly. And this creator is saying that thumbnails don't have to be super complicated.
Okay.
In fact, they say you should keep them pretty simple.
Really?
Yeah, like close-up shots, minimal text.
Interesting.
Because the goal is to like create intrigue and clearly communicate what the video is about.
So it's like a visual hook
Exactly.
that goes along with the title, which is the written hook.
Great. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual hook within the video.
Right. The hook in the content itself.
Yeah, what are their tips for grabbing attention in those first few seconds?
Well, they say it's all about opening a loop that the viewer wants to see closed.
Okay, like what do you mean by that?
So, like, you could pose a question
Okay.
or present a problem or, like, tease a story.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you want to make people curious about what's coming next.
So it's kind of like that classic cliffhanger ending.
Yeah, exactly. And they use their own intro as an example.
Okay.
They basically tease the 3 pieces of bad advice that they're going to debunk in the video.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it makes you want to keep watching to find out what those bad advice nuggets are.
Right. But I'm guessing it's not enough to just have a good hook.
No, you have to actually deliver on that promise.
Yeah, you have to actually provide valuable content.
Exactly. Like, the content has to live up to the hype.
Right, so it's all about finding that balance between creating intrigue and delivering substance.
Yeah, I like that it's a delicate dance.
So this creator is saying that if you master these three things, the title, the thumbnail, and the hook, then you can really increase your chances of success on YouTube.
It's about creating a cohesive experience for the viewer.
Right, and I'm noticing a theme here with this creator.
What's that?
They're really all about being intentional with every aspect of your content.
Yeah, they don't want you just throwing things out there and hoping for the best.
Exactly. You have to be strategic.
You have to understand how the platform works, what audiences respond to,
Right.
and you have to craft your content accordingly.
They even talk about the importance of analyzing your data
Oh, yeah. Data is crucial.
to see what's working and what's not.
Absolutely. So it's like a combination of creativity and data analysis.
Yeah, you need that artistic side, but you also need that analytical side.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go back to that example of the creator with 8,000 subscribers.
The one who's not getting views on their longer videos.
Yeah, let's try to apply this T plus H formula and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Okay, yeah, let's put on our detective hats.
All right, so first things first, the title.
Okay.
Is it clear? Is it concise? Is it attention-grabbing?
Because if the title isn't good, people are going to scroll right past it.
Right, it doesn't matter how good the video is.
Exactly.
Okay, so then we move on to the thumbnail. Does it visually represent the content?
Right, and is it appealing?
Yeah, does it make you want to click?
And remember, this creator is saying keep it simple.
Right, close-up shot, minimal text.
Something that's easy to understand.
Okay, and finally, the hook.
Right.
Does the video grab the viewer's attention right away?
In those first few seconds.
Yeah. Does it make them want to keep watching?
Because if it starts slow, people are going to bounce.
So it's like a three-pronged attack.
I like that.
The title, the thumbnail, and the hook.
And if any one of those is weak, the whole thing falls apart. It's amazing how much strategy goes into making a successful YouTube video.
Yeah, it's not just about filming something and uploading it.
No, there's a real art to it.
But I think this creator does a good job of breaking it down.
Yeah, they give really solid advice.
But beyond the technical stuff, I think there's also an important message here about mindset.
Oh, what do you mean?
I think this creator is trying to say that you should be passionate about your content.
Yeah.
Like, you should genuinely want to connect with your audience.
It's not just about the views and the subscribers.
Right, it's about creating something you're proud of.
Yeah, and sharing it with the world.
It's about finding your voice and building a community.
And I think that's what leads to long-term success.
For sure. So what are your big takeaways from this whole conversation?
What advice would you give to someone starting out on YouTube? I would say be authentic.
Be yourself.
Yeah, don't try to be someone you're not.
And don't chase trends.
Find your niche.
Find your voice.
Create content that you're passionate about.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to experiment.
YouTube is constantly changing.
But don't get so caught up in the algorithm that you forget why you started making videos in the first place.
That's such a good point.
So to all our listeners out there who are on their own YouTube journeys,
What stands out to you?
it's really easy to get caught up in the numbers. But at the end of the day, it's really about making something you're proud of.
Right. Sharing your passion with the world.
Exactly. And that's when it gets really exciting.
Yeah, when you connect with people who genuinely care about the same things you do.
It's like you're building your own little community.
Exactly. And you never know. Maybe you'll even blow up like that creator said.
Maybe. But even if you don't, I think the process of creating and connecting with people is rewarding in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
I have to say that Key plus H formula really stuck with me.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It just makes so much sense.
It really highlights how important every part of the video is.
Yeah, the title, the thumbnail, the hook, it all has to work together.
Yeah, and it goes back to being intentional.
Right, really thinking about your content and how to reach your audience.
It's like building a house.
Oh, I like that.
You need a strong foundation, a good structure.
And all the little details.
Right, and speaking of details,
Yeah.
this creator also talks about having a clear call to action at the end of your videos.
Oh, right, like telling people to subscribe or leave a comment.
Yeah, you want to give them a next step.
Keep them engaged.
Exactly. So to wrap things up, I think we've learned a lot about YouTube growth today.
Yeah, it's not about following some magic formula.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you.
Being authentic.
And always being willing to try new things.
And most importantly, having fun.
That's the key. All right, well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been great chatting with you.
We hope you got some good ideas for your own YouTube journey.
Remember, keep creating.
And we'll see you next time.